Hey everyone, appreciate you all being here at USA Crypto Group for this AMS session. Today we have MaxxChain with us. MaxxChain is a layer one blockchain. With that being said, I'd like to welcome Nayan and KP from the team. It's a pleasure having you guys here with us. If you guys could start out introducing yourself, talk about your team, and give us a bit of insight on your background experience, please.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us. So my name is Nayan Patel. I'm co-founder of MaxxChain and the Max token. So to give a little bit background on myself, actually, I'm a CPA, certified professional accountant here in public accountant here in Canada. I've been working for one of the largest corporations in Canada for over 12 years now. Help oversee a monthly payroll of almost $100 million. I have a team under me, and I've moved around quite a bit in terms of positions at work, and I've learned a lot over the last 12 years in terms of managerial and business experience and project management as well, actually. So in terms of crypto, I've been in this space for a few years now. Started with the DeFi space. That's where I met KP. We invest in a lot of the same projects together. We've seen a lot of projects go up and down, and learn a lot from what happened in those years. Seen some good projects really make some good money, and fall and die, and other projects, work hard to survive. And I think we've learned a lot over those projects over the last few years, and it's kind of brought us to where we are now. Before diving into that, I'll let KP introduce himself.
Yeah, thanks, Nayan. So my name is Kevin Paisanoglou, and I'm the other co-founder and of a MaxxChain and Maxx token. I've been in the space since 2016, going into 17 with the Bitcoin bull run. Leading up to that, that 20K blow up top, that's kind of like when I actually got, my interest peaked into crypto in general. And I mean, I knew about Bitcoin before that, but obviously diving into the market with Coinbase at that time was the easiest way to do it. And I started investing into DeFi probably around the time that, the whole SafeMoon craze happened. And that's kind of when I stumbled upon Nayan and a couple other projects in DeFi, and we started co-investing, and searching for good opportunities and being part of certain communities, and being in the forefront of seeing how certain teams that did a good job manage their projects. And then obviously we also stumbled upon a couple of horrible experiences along the way as well, and been able to identify what a good project is and what good engagement with community means, and how a project goes about trying to grow their community and so forth. In terms of what I do for a living, I work for one of the largest logistics companies here in the US. I've been here with them for over a decade. Started when it was a very small company within $20 to $30 million range in revenue. As of today, it's up in the $2 billion range. So my team alone that I built from the ground up, I lead a team of about 15 to 20 people with regards to all the resources that are required to service our customers. It is an account that brings about 50 million in annual revenue a year. And, that managerial experience that I have with regards to organizational development and business development really suits us. And also the complement that also Nayan has with regards to him being an accountant. We feel like we're a pretty solid team, well-rounded team to approach this project from a business standpoint and bring a lot of that managerial experience to the table, as well as also our crypto experience, and just kind of blend everything together.
Wow, awesome introduction, guys. No, I mean, very well-rounded team. Seems like, yeah, I mean, with Nayan being CPA, very necessary, right, for any serious project. Sooner or later, you will need a CPA with any business if you want to operate it correctly, right? So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to hit you up after this. I'm not sure if the CPA law is the same as the US, but over there, but. But yeah, now you guys came from both. I love that, from the crypto background as well as the real life experiences. So that is amazing. Now, are there any more people that you guys want to speak on in your team?
Well, we do have two other individuals on the team. I guess you can say they're kind of silent partners. They do have other experience in crypto in terms of projects that they have worked with and are currently working with. They both have a little bit of a different background to help us, help get us where we are right now. And we also have a developer that's on the team. He's been part part of the team ever since not too long before we started this venture in terms of starting our own blockchain. So it's not like we have a developer and hire. He's actually part of the team, and he does have a team behind him. We do use them as needed, and you know, he wants to grow this just as much as we do.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I read up on your project, the white paper, and the evolution of MaxxChain is kind of interesting. How it got to this point. Without going to like all the details, can you just give us quick summary how you guys come into MaxxChain?
That's all you know. You say the story the best.
So so KP and myself and a few others, we came across this token on the Ethereum network back in the end of 2022 called Ethereum 2.0, and we thought it'd be cool to get into a project that's starting a blockchain, a young blockchain, and you know, being able to get something at the ground level. We thought that was interesting, so we saw them, you know, launch their blockchain, and we saw the ecosystem thrive. It was called a proof of memes blockchain. And a lot of projects were just launching. So I came upon myself without telling anybody to launch a project on that chain, which is what I did. I renounced the contract, and I remain I would remain anonymous. Started with $350 liquidity, $700 market cap. And lo and behold, before you know it, this thing hits $50,000 market cap. And on the way, I told KP, I'm like, yeah, check this out, man. This is what I put together. I'm like, you know, it's actually got legs. You know, maybe we should, you know, take this and move forward. So I revealed my identity to the community. We decided let's start a V2, not have a renounced contract, so we can actually build something with this. 99.5% of the tokens were sent back, so we were able to drain LP, airdropped everybody, did a small private sale, and with that we were able to relaunch, get a staking DApp created, and kind of build a roadmap. And our roadmap included launching 2 other tokens on Ethereum and BSC, and use a bridge to kind of help bridge people to the new chain, to kind of bring awareness to the new chain. So we wanted to promote the new chain and become kind of ambassadors to the chain. Now what happened is, while we just started our presale, our Pinksale presale for our BSC token, the creator of the chain decided to pull the plug. He pulled the CEX listing, kind of at that point rendering every project useless on chain. Now, with it being a proof of work blockchain, KP and myself, you know, we spoke and we kind of pivoted and thought, let's just continue building on chain. Let's take over. So we tried talking to him in terms of taking back, you know, some of the treasury, which was now useless, for us to kind of use and build upon, and, you know, put in our own capital to help build and, you know, bring everybody back up. And long story short, you know, there were some obstacles that he put in front of us that we couldn't overcome. So then we pulled out our wild card and said, let's just start our own chain. So while we did all that, you know, our BSC token launched. We can dive into that. I know you wanted to talk about both projects are alive. We launched our ETH token as well. And all the while, our developer and his team put together the blockchain. Everything's ready for mainnet, and we're at a point where we're going to do a raise for the blockchain coin. And everything I just mentioned to you, from the pre-sale of our BSC token to now, all of that transpired over the last 5 weeks. So this website we put together, everything that we've done up until now, all that's happened over the last 5 weeks.
Wow. So you guys have been grinding.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you know, the website came up, you know, we put the website up in about 12 days from design to content to, you know, structure and how to present the entire ecosystem and break apart, obviously, the Maxx tokens, and then obviously the chain itself, to additional stakeholders and certain projects that are going to be redeploying back on our chain from the old chain that are following us. And then, you know, obviously deals with the mining pools and so forth. And pretty much everything that you see there, you know, we put that together in about 12 days. I mean, we had everything in our head. We just needed to really grind it out and get everything out on paper and then structure everything. And obviously the utilities behind that, our dev was really cranking hard behind the scenes. And you know, I mean, fast forward here, and, you know, not only do we have a testnet on a faucet and a lot of the infrastructure already developed for an actual blockchain, which, you know, would require to operate from the day that it goes live, with, you know, a swap where you can swap your pairs in and out, and projects to actually launch on a launch pad block LP, maybe even mint, provide opportunities for NFT mints and even more things with regards to farms and pools, and also a cross-chain bridge. But I mean, even our mainnet is ready right now. I mean, if we want, we can actually deploy today if we want to. Our dev kept telling us, should we just release mainnet so at least the miners can get in? I'm like, no. We need to go through this pre-sale. We have the structure, just hold up. I know we've been moving 1,000 miles an hour, but let's not move too fast too. So yeah. So I mean, right now our focus and our goal is obviously to promote the chain and promote the ecosystem that we built and help build our community up, and obviously focus on the pre-sale that's coming up. That's providing some amazing opportunities for entry points for a lot of people, and obviously lead into August with the PowerCoin being a direct list on an exchange, because obviously it's a blockchain coin. It's not a smart contract. There's no smart contract behind it, so we're not creating a pegged version for it to be on DeFi or anything like that. We really want it to be nestled out there on an exchange. Because of the amount of stakeholders that are required to a chain to survive and thrive early on, with the miners having an off ramp, and then obviously investors having an on and off ramp, as well as also projects that may be looking to launch on our chain that require to purchase LP or get LP in order to pair their token on our chain.
Awesome. I mean, you guys, within 5 weeks, it seems like a lot of work that you guys have been put into. Now, before we go into the pre-sale that you're talking about, the PowerCoin pre-sale here, and also the live chart. Now, for those that are listening right now, they may not understand what layer 1 blockchain is, and also proof of work that you guys decide to go on instead of proof of stake. Could you speak on that in detail a little bit and see why you guys picked layer 1? Or what can projects or developers do, and why proof of work over proof of stake?
So a layer 1 obviously is basically, over a layer 2, right? I mean, it's programmable, and that's pretty much the majority of it. I mean, we are a fork off of Ethereum. We are an EVM chain. So obviously, anything that any developer can do, pretty much on an Ethereum network in terms of development, we'll have the ability to do it here as well. Not only that, but obviously, we want to also ensure that we can cater, right? I mean, our job as a blockchain founders, we need to create an ecosystem that actually produces or gives the opportunity for developers and projects to innovate and also to compete, because competition will lead to innovation, and then will lead to demand of on-chain, projects launching, and then more investors wanting to come, thus PowerCoin having more of a demand out there. But we are in discussions with certain other companies out there, to provide even more robust solutions like oracles and things like that. It just depends what developers do come on chain and what their needs and wants are with what they want to develop. And if it requires, for instance, oracles and so forth, at that time we're able to, bring those to the forefront as well. But we're no more different than an Ethereum, what the Ethereum chain provides in terms of opportunity for development for developers. So it's not like we're a complete off chain like Algorand or something like that, or like where it's like you have to completely come in and actually need an entire like rundown on the development because everything is different or something like that, right? So that's pretty much with regards to development. Obviously, we decided proof of work versus proof of stake, and I think that this kind of came about more from like our core beliefs of what we feel crypto was always about, right? If you really bring it back to the old days and bring it back to all the way straight to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin being proof of work, and the actual reason of why crypto was founded, why crypto emerged and was birthed into this world, and what opportunity it provided to people. You see a lot of that nowadays going around as well, right? Obviously, it's been a sketchy couple of days with the SEC. I'm sure everybody's on pins and needles with what's going on. And, for us, proof of work means that we wanted to create a decentralized space. We wanted it to be a people's chain. We do not want to be inhibitors or dictating, how a chain should operate and so forth. I mean, obviously, we will have guidelines and stuff like that for individuals and developers to be able to follow best practices and so forth, which our responsibility really relies more on education, more than actually taking people and restricting them on what they can do on chain and so forth. As far as proof of stake, obviously the way it works is that, usually it works is, for me, proof of stake, if I had to define it, it just means the richer keep getting richer, because you have your biggest wallets that have to stake their bags, and they are able to validate the majority of the transactions, thus also receive the majority of the actual block rewards. And we felt like, that with guidelines from the government perspective, obviously, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but it's not stopping with Binance or Coinbase, but obviously any proof of stake consensus is now theoretically being probably deemed as a security by the SEC. And if you notice, there is no proof of work blockchain that is on that list that they're going after. And that's because proof of work is still considered, in their eyes, probably a commodity until they decide it's not. But for now, proof of work for us was a safe space to bring it back to the roots of what crypto is all about. And I know that there's all these advantages and disadvantages versus transaction speed and congestion, and I get it and I understand that. But in our initial stages as a baby chain, because let's call a spade what a spade is. I mean, we will be pretty fast with our transactions, and gas fees are going to be, fractions of a penny, even if not fractions of a power coin anyways. Congestion and high gas fees will not be a problem unless we reach, I don't know, in the size of an Ethereum network, which I think nobody's going to complain if they're here early nowadays and are like on board with us for that journey.
Hey there, KP. I think, as we all know, there are disadvantages and advantages, whether that's proof of stake or proof of work. But I think the biggest thing right now, as we all aware of recently what's going on, is the SEC regulation, right? And you're 100% correct. In fact, when Ethereum was proof of work, that was considered as non-security. Once they moved to the proof of stake, the SEC considered them as a security. So I think that speaks volume as why you guys decided, I would as well, to go proof of work if I was to launch a chain right now, because the uncertainty. So yeah, I think that's actually a good decision.
And you know what? I mean, who knows? I mean, it's look. I mean, everything in life is can be planned with a project, within business and everything like that. But you also do need a little bit of lady luck, right? So I mean, I know that what's going on in the market right now. I know what's going on in the market right now. It seems like, oh wow, this is going to take a hit in general. There's going to be fear is going to come out. And obviously, you see the decline in the price of Binance, and who knows what happens with Coinbase, and obviously now with the proof of stake, blockchains being targeted, but I think it also provides an opportunity for us as a proof of work consensus. I mean, perhaps proof of work was kind of fading in the background with all of the bells and whistles that a proof of stake consensus offers. But now when it actually brings it back to the root of actually crypto, which is basically, my keys, my money, or, decentralized versus centralized, because I feel that all the different consensuses that really came about after proof of work, theoretically, they were structured to improve the network of blockchain technology. And in some case they did, but I feel somewhere along the lines, the centralized aspect and greed and control kind of stepped in.
I'm not sure if KP, I think you got cut off there, or is that me?
It's because
I was
got a
phone
trying
to say, yeah, I got a phone call. So, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is that, the proof of stake was supposed to, help kind of like, emerge blockchain technology and improve over a proof of work consensus. But I just feel along the way, control and greed kind of, and a centralized aspect of proof of stake and even proof of authority, it just was all about just, being in control of everything. And that's why I was such a proponent from the beginning about proof of work. We need to ensure that this is as untouched from us, and having any kind of like, any kind of, we need to stay completely out of the chain with regards to us steering it in a way that's manipulative, right? So
we are ambassadors of the chain, more so than
exactly. In the end of the
I like that. I'm all for decentralization. I think that's the key. And I feel like there's a shift back. I think you're right. I think there's a sentiment that there's a shift going back to Bitcoin, right? How it was started. And not a topic, but you can see that with the BRC20, etc. as well. Awesome. Okay, now that's all. That's out of the way. A great introduction, guys, and a great backstory on it. Let's talk about the chart. So currently, right now, you have the BSC live, and you have the ETH as well live. How was it launched, and when was the project or both chain launched?
Yeah, so I'll take this one. So the BSC token, if you remember, I was mentioning we started our pre-sale. When we started our pre-sale for the BSC token, we were actually a token on a whole different chain. We were just a project on chain. And during that pre-sale, we became a token with a project with a blockchain that we were going to develop on our own. So we had a lot of pivots and shifts during that time during that pre-sale. So, but either way, I think we had a lot of momentum at that point, and we had a fair launch on Pinksale that had a 50 BNB soft cap. We ended up finishing that with 168 BNB. 51% of that went to liquidity. Now, upon launch, we did see a sharp drop in price right off the bat, and I think there was a lot of uncertainty with people at that time that wanted to try to cut their losses and take as much money as they could because of what happened with the previous chain. But for us, I mean, we kept moving forward because we knew what we were building, and I think it was still there's a lot of confusion amongst the population because at that point it was just our word. There was no website. We hadn't built anything at that point. We were literally like a day or two into it. So KP and myself were in continuous discussion in terms of figuring out how we're going to grow both the token, how we're going to launch the ETH token, which was our plan at that time, and continue growing this blockchain, which we had just decided that we're going to build. So, you know, I think the community did see us, and I think the most important point for us was transparency and honesty with the community. If you take a look at our chats and ask the community, you'll see that, you know, both KP and myself are fairly active in the chats, and we're always responsive and providing updates for whatever we are doing on a weekly basis. I provide a timeline in terms of what we've gotten, what we've completed, what we're doing, what's coming for the community. So I think that alone is given a lot of confidence, given the community a lot of confidence in us, and helped us get where we are now. Over the last little bit, you'll notice our chart's actually done a lot of positive movement on the BSC side. And that's because we're kind of putting the puzzle pieces together now, and people are understanding the token's places in terms of where it fits into the blockchain. A lot of people may have thought that, okay, well, we launched the BSC tokens, a cash grab, the ETH tokens, a cash grab, and now we're going to this blockchain and we're going to completely neglect the other two tokens. But that's very far from the truth. You know, it's quite a bit to take in terms of where these tokens fit in our ecosystem, and they both play a very important role. And once the entire puzzle is finished, our ecosystem is fully launched. I think the three Maxx tokens, when they're live, are going to be play a pivotal role in our growth. To touch on the ETH token, we had decided that we would do another Pinksale raise for that one. We wanted to do a soft cap and hard cap as opposed to a fair launch. Now, at that time, the Pepe craze was going nuts on the Ethereum side, so gas fees were astronomically high, and there was a lot. You know, the meme craze was all back. So every other launch is Pepe. I think when we had a pre-sale going on, we were the only one of two projects, I think, that were in the top 12 that did not have any Pepe in it. So with the AMAs and marketing stuff that we did, we weren't able to hit the soft cap. So we turned around and we said, you know what, we're going to go to a bunch of close investors close to us that can help us, you know, build a little bit of a raise in a private sale. These are the same individuals that are holding the floor for us on the BSC side and support us from day one back on the previous chain. And we were able to raise, I think it was $13,000. Most of it, I think 90% of it, we had put into LP, so we can self-launch that token. We launched that at 30K market cap. It literally shot up to 650K within minutes. That dropped down, of course. People were taking their profits and whatnot, and we're now sitting at around, I think, 130, 140K market cap. So we are seeing some good growth on both sides. People are seeing the importance of both tokens in terms of the ecosystem. Currently, individuals that buy those tokens and stake those tokens within their staking platform can earn dummy tokens, which they'll be able to trade 1-for-1 for the power coin when it does go live. So there are some benefits there, and people are going to be able to eventually use a bridge to trade between the three chains as well. So there's a lot coming, which I think we'll probably touch on once we go through the website a little bit as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that breakdown there on both of the tokens currently. Now, I had a chance to look at your chart. Looks like, yeah, you're correct. It climbed quite a bit within the last couple of days, or I think when we posted it on both chains actually, the charts are not looking bad at all. Looks really healthy actually.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's going to be for us. I'm happy with where the charts are because of the fact that they're going to be. I wouldn't call it slow mooners, but you can see that they're really strong holders. There's a strong foundation, and I know that the market caps are not really high at this moment, and that's only because I mean, we haven't yet really hit that stride yet on people hitting our community, right? I mean, and joining in, but. I think once PowerCoin actually launches, and I think once people start seeing the movement of, projects and developers, one needing LP and outside investors coming in and wanting a piece of it, I think people will underestimate how undervalued the Maxx tokens are because theoretically they are DeFi tokens offering you a blockchain coin and reward for staking. And that in itself is pretty powerful for us, but also pretty powerful for the actual holder, especially if you can get in this early and secure yourself a maximum bag, because then you actually take a pretty decent cut out of the staking pool. And the way the actual staking pools work is they're not a traditional staking pool, right? Where usually when a project launches, right, they'll allocate a certain amount of tokens to the side and they'll say that's for staking. So then you hold that native token, and then you stake your native tokens for the same token, which is just basically a dilution of supply anyways. I mean, it's really, there's no value there. But the way we've structured this is obviously staking Maxx tokens for the PowerCoin, and you're earning PowerCoin on the Ethereum and the BSC side, as well as it'll be the same when you're on the MaxxChain side. But we are using the taxes from BSC and Ethereum in order to fill those staking pools. So the volume generated from the DeFi space is taking those taxes, going out to our chart on the exchange that PowerCoin is going to be listed on, providing that extra boost in buying power and buy pressure, taking that PowerCoin and then bringing it back into the staking pools and rewarding the actual stakers from the actual Maxx tokens. So it's a nice closed loop of rewards, but that's helping the actual PowerCoin, blockchain coin, in terms of seeing that additional buy pressure, but also continues to benefit the stakers that stake their Maxx tokens.
awesome. I'm pretty sure that Nayan will show the screen and he will further elaborate on the power token and what part it plays in the ecosystem later here. But just right out the gate, are there any vesting tokens left for both the Maxx token on the the ETH and the BSC side?
Yeah, so all the tokens, there's no vesting actually. There are locked tokens on the two sides, 100 million tokens locked on either side. Those tokens are saved specifically for one of our utilities, which is called IgniteQR. And that all 100 million tokens are actually going to be used and rewarded to holders that use that utility. And KP, I'll let you touch on that utility to explain it a little bit.
But currently, right now, there's no individual holders that are holding it. Okay, good.
No,
yep.
no.
And I think more than 50% of the holders are staked on both sides.
Yeah, I think on the ETH side, I was taking a look before. I think there's about 700 million tokens after removing everything that's burned. I think there's about 350 million tokens that are staked right now, which I believe is almost 50%. On the ETH side, there's still about 700 million, I believe, in circulation as well. And I think about 250 there are currently staked, 250 million. So it's showing that a lot of people have a vision of wanting to earn this power coin, and regardless of the chart movement, they want to receive those rewards. One thing I do want to point out is, even with the private sale and those that did get in early, for the ETH side, I remember taking a look at the at those that did sell. I mean, I'm not one to call it out, but I wanted to call out that almost every single private sale investor, even though they saw a 20x within minutes, not one of them went to sell their tokens. So, I'm really proud of the guys that we have behind us that are holding the floor, and I'm really appreciative of that because, they've helped us bring us where we are as much as, KP and myself and the team and the work that we've done. We have a really dedicated group of investors behind us.
Now, you mentioned that the ETH was launched at 30,000, correct? Now, what about the BSC? What was the market cap, the initial market cap on that?
The initial market cap on that, I believe, was 185,000, but that was before any of the
The burn.
burns. So now, this was initially 100. I think it launched at 190,000 with 2 billion in circulation actually, and then we did burn 1.3 billion of the supply over a couple months, I believe it was a couple weeks. So now we're sitting at a $210,000 market cap with 700 million supply.
Right. And yeah, so I mean, no one's lost their money, even the early investors. So your chart's
Yeah,
actually in the positive side, which is
we dipped
great.
down to 100K, under 100K. So a lot of people got a good deal in terms of the BSC token.
Yeah, yeah. The BSC chart is looking really nice. All right, sounds great. I think all the basic things are out of the way. They're important. So at this point here, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys present your project because I know we have a lot of functionalities on the blockchain. We have the power token to talk about and a lot of other things. So yeah, go ahead and do your thing, Nayan.
So I'll go ahead here and share the website. KP, do you want to kind of walk us through a little bit here?
Yeah, so obviously the first tab at the top is MaxxChain. If you drop down there, you will have some information about, what MaxxChain is with regards to, the consensus of it being a proof of work and all the advantages that come along with a proof of work consensus. Then we go into explaining the Maxx ecosystem with regards to our Maxx tokens and their utilities, which obviously we have the staking utility for being able to stake and earn the actual blockchain coin. We have Lotto Maxx that Nayan will discuss real fast with regards to what that is. And then I'll jump in on our third utility for IgniteQR for the Maxx tokens. Nayan, you want to talk about what Lotto Maxx is?
Yeah, of course. So Lotto Maxx is basically going to be a lottery app in which that works similar to Powerball in the States, or Lotto Max as it's called here in Canada. People will be able to purchase tickets and choose three numbers out of a possible 30. And there'll be weekly prize pools in which, individuals that do get all three numbers drawn will win the pot. Of course, if there's multiple winners, it'll be a split prize pool. And every week there's guaranteed prizes. So what this does is create a little bit of excitement within the community. Individuals will be able to buy tickets directly. You don't need to be a Maxx holder. Anybody can come into our D app and connect their wallet and purchase tickets. And what this will do actually is purchase Maxx token on the MaxxChain side and create that pool. So it's going to continuously create volume, which is going to benefit our stakers. We wanted to introduce utilities that would create hype for anybody in crypto, not just those that do purchase Maxx tokens. So that's how we kind of drive this one here together while increasing the volume of the tokens. And it's something we're excited about, and it's something that we're starting with this, and we do have other ideas in terms of lottery items and different types of lottery utilities that we are going to bring into the future. But this was going to be step one in that process. This is also going to help towards burning the supply, as 10% of the weekly pool will be pulled back to burn supply of the Maxx tokens across all three chains.
All right, and then our third utility that we have out on the roadmap will be IgniteQR. IgniteQR is actually a software solution services company that Nayan and I are actually equity partners in with a few other people. This is a utility that's going to basically utilize MaxxChain and the projects on chain as like their initial sandbox of us bringing it to market. It will be able to be cross-chain offered anywhere, pretty much on any network and any project. And also the audience that it's targeting is not just ideally projects themselves, but it could even be call groups. It could even be lounges that can use it, lounge owners can use it to help engage their community and so forth. So long story short, one of the biggest things that I think that Nayan and I have noticed through our journey here in the BSC space and jumping in and out of all these telegrams and seeing how project owners and project founders try to engage with their community to help spearhead growth within the community is somewhat of a broken strategic system. It usually leads with a tweet or some sort of ask for engagement. usually a lock your chat type of deal situation, go raid this, go shill this. And, then I guess you just sit back and hope and pray that it works out, right? But our background in business doesn't work out that way. If we execute something, we need to be able to measure it and quantify the results on whether our efforts with whatever instituted strategy we put in place, it produces a return on investment. So we brought that mindset with IgniteQR and the team behind it. And what we're taking is word of mouth, which is basically what helps, spearhead growth, but really actually add some juice behind it. So it is going to be a DApp platform that is actually going to cater to projects and also users. Projects will be able to actually sign up for IgniteQR as a service for an annual fee. They will be able to go ahead and create an escrow wallet and then deposit, their native token or BUSD or whatever it is they require or want to actually deposit into a pool. The platform itself will generate a unique QR code that's tied to their project specifically. That project will then be available on the dashboard. So as a user, when the user actually goes to the dashboard and connects to the DApp and logs in, if that user is from that specific project and that project owner has asked for efforts for shilling or word of mouth engagement to bring in more people, they will ask them, go to your IgniteQR dashboard, go to our project, go ahead and scan our unique QR code that's identifiable to our project, and then use that with your shilling efforts. If you're going out on Twitter, if you're going to other Telegram groups or wherever you are, spreading word of mouth for our project. The minute that person sends that out and somebody engages with that unique QR code and brings it back to what will happen is it will bring that individually back to IgniteQR's dashboard and to an actual universal swap router, because the universal swap router, since this platform is going to be cross-chain, if it's that project, let's say it's on MaxxChain, it will bring it back. PowerCoin will be available in there, for them to utilize to purchase that specific project. So what will happen is that new user coming in from scanning that QR code will make a buy on the chart for that project. That project then gains a true holder on their actual chart. And the individual that actually used the QR code to go shill it then is getting released rewards from that actual pool that the project set up for reward release. So it basically takes word of mouth and that actually monetizes it. And the platform itself will be able to provide analytics to project founders to understand who is actually, shilling projects, the most, and who's working the hardest within their community to actually further the growth of their community and the project itself. And obviously for the user themselves, now there's actually a reward for wanting to go out and actually take 10, 15, 20 minutes to go ahead and like or shill or share a tweet or do something.
So yeah, so that's something we're really excited about bringing to the table here. Before we get going, 2 items I did want to point out on the website. Our website, like KP had said before, this is something we had drawn out and put together and worked with our website developers in 10 and 11 days. And so there's a lot of information here, so it might be, overbearing for some, but, I really entice you to go through it all and really take a look at everything that we're bringing to the table here. And a good starting point, on the 2 tabs, MaxxChain and Maxx token ecosystem, are 2 white papers. We have individual white papers for MaxxChain and an individual white paper for our tokens.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the actual website, you have to understand we're a blockchain project, right? So we have to identify who's our audience and who do we need to ensure that we have resources and information available to. It's not just users or investors, it's actually developers, it's actually project owners. And since we're proof of work, it's also miners. So aside from the fact that we have our utilities, they're in the middle at the top of the top, and obviously they are showcased as Nayan is scrolling up and down the website right now. Our utilities, obviously, from Maxx Explorer, which is basically your basic Explorer, it's already developed and ready. That's basically your gateway into the data on chain with regards to transactions, and also you'll be able to see miners mining blocks and receiving five coins per reward every block every 15 seconds. You'll be able to see holders list, obviously, for power. You'll be able to see projects and all holder lists for projects. It's basically an Ether scan or BSC scan, but it is built in Block Scout. So it does look a little bit different. We do intend to upgrade it to a more Etherscan kind of look, but it does the job now, and we're pretty happy with it. Then we have Max Swap, which is your basically swap that'll be on chain for using PowerCoin to go ahead and swap into any kind of token that's launched on chain that you perhaps want to get into. The Max bridge will be tied into our Max token ecosystem first, so we'll be able to bridge your Max holdings from MaxxChain to Ethereum to Binance, and perhaps arbitrage based on price discrepancies across the three chains. Obviously there will be a fee to use the to cross chain back and forth. It is minimal. We haven't decided if it's going to be 1 or 1.5%, but we've benchmarked across a couple other bridges out there that are competitive bridges within the space, and we feel like we're pretty competitive in terms of our percentage price point that we're looking to charge. But it also showcased other projects that perhaps may be on Ethereum or BSC that may want to cross-chain launch back into MaxxChain as we go live. So obviously it provides that that footprint that projects can now see. Oh, okay, great. So you're able to actually bridge three worlds into one world, and people can kind of move back and forth freely from it. So then we have the Max pools and the Max farms, and then Nayan can touch on those two. They're pretty standard.
Yeah, the Max pools. I mean, a lot of people might not understand the Max pools and farm pools and farms. I mean, I know myself when I go to the PancakeSwap website, I used to get really confused as to what the hell all these were about. And I mean, one thing like KP mentioned too, we want to provide an educational platform here, and that's something that's how we kind of designed this website as well. So as you can see here, there's guides under everything. So we're gonna have not only some text guides, we're gonna have some video guides to help guide individuals of all skill levels for any of these. So the pools, of course, is to create LP pairings with power with tokens that individuals have in order to get a bit of rewards there for the trades for the more I guess any token on chain pretty much. Max Farms is basically staking your LP pairings to earn even more rewards. Of course, making those LP pools stronger. Our staking platform, which we already touched on already, the Lotto Max platform we've already touched on already. And another thing that we are actually proud of, and something we're going to do here, on the previous chain, something that we noticed is that there were so many developers that had very, very good utilities, and their creations were just neglected. And this being a proof of work blockchain, we've built these utilities with our developers, and our developers have done a great job in putting all this together. But we believe in competition here. We want to see developers come in and bring in their own versions of all these things and give the users opportunities to choose from something different, because that just creates a more decentralized world. And so we are going to highlight and showcase other projects, utilities here, which is what we're doing here. Dropper is Developers United. They're a great team of developers that helped us build our staking platform. This is just a multi-sender that they're building for us for projects to use when they want to process airdrops of tokens. MaxxPloy, this is a project that actually Spaces that was on the previous chain. They're on BSC and Ethereum as well. And they're building the launchpad for us. So we're going to be showcasing their launchpad. There's some great utilities here again, and why recreate the wheel when we don't need to. So you can launch NFT collections, launch projects, and I'm actually talking to him today in terms of implementing other aspects of it to make it a little bit more robust for users. There's some scan tools for smart token contract scanners that give you information on any token that you're looking to invest in, portfolio trackers, so on and so forth.
I just dropped a sneak peek of what MaxxPloy looks like, and it's basically going to be a complete launch pad where you can go conduct a pre-sale, but you can even launch a stealth token and use already audited contracts and so forth to launch a project. And also there'll be ways to actually do mint, like have a mint NFT mint collection raised there and all that stuff as well. So
yeah. So one thing we're looking at is to make sure, when we launch a blockchain, and one thing we've seen with previous projects is that, they work so hard to build a blockchain, and once mainnet is developed and launched, that's about it. They don't have anything else to showcase for it. So one thing that we're proud about is that we're going to have, I think, about 7 or 8 projects that are going to be launching at mainnet launch with us. We have all of our on-chain tools that are going to be ready. We have we've pointed out wallets that are going to be that we're going to be able to use. I mean, people are going to be able to enter the information, our mainnet information, use these wallets. Dive Wallet actually is a wallet that's going to be native. We're going to be listed natively on them. So we're having they're helping us out, and that's a great wallet that's new and a lot of people are enjoying right now in both iOS and Android. Also projects, there's a lot of other, we're putting links to Dex tools and all that, but then there's Astrospaces, which the same guy that built Pomplay. I mean, it's a great social media platform that's tied to MaxxChain as well. So he's building that for us. So that's something we're excited about as well. And of course, miners. These are all the different mining pools that we're talking to. There's going to be a lot more information for them as well that in our knowledge base, which I'll touch upon in not too long from now.
Yeah, and then obviously there was another one that you skipped there, but we just engaged in a collaboration with Vault Finance. They are a BSC project on on Binance, and we're going to be utilizing their launchpad for the pre-sale that is coming up for PowerCoin. The raise will be in BNB, but also they have something unique with regards to something called a sell-less swap. So that is the way usually it works, right? There's a lot of contracts on the BSC side that reward and reflections and so forth, but those contracts usually have to gather those reflections, and then the contract has to sell those out on the chart, thus adding more sell pressure to it. But they have something called a sell-less swap, which basically actually all the contract's actually gathering the rewards in actual BNB rather than actually in native token, so it doesn't require to go out and sell them on the chart. So in addition, that's you could see that as a competitive swap to, let's say, our Maxx swap, but in the end of the day, it provides even more value and more opportunity for freedom of choice, because if a project that wants to come and launch a MaxxChain and they are structure their project in such a way that does actually have taxation that needs to sell on their chart, well, now we have a place for them to actually utilize Novation and their sell-less swap, because they are going to integrate their swap into our actual blockchain. So that's what we were talking about with regards to being blockchain founders and what we're building here. It's not just building an ecosystem and it's just ours. Innovation comes from competition, and anybody that does come on chain, and any project that does want to launch on chain, our expectation is that they provide value. Value that brings opportunity for users to engage with something different that's otherwise offered, but also a place where we will be supportive of that innovation that they may bring to the table. So I think a question was asked to me the other day on an AMA, like, why MaxxChain versus something else? Well, first of all, we have to let's be realistic. We are going to be a baby chain, so you can't compare apples to apples. We can't compare it to BNB or to Ethereum, which are top blockchains in the space. But if you scale it down to, let's say, the emerging blockchains that are trying to get their foot into the space, our position is going to be so much more powerful with regards to going and launching on mainnet, because of the infrastructure being built and the legwork that we've already done to ensure that we have customers ready, which is basically projects and developers. We have a Telegram group that's strictly there for developers to gather and collaborate and support each other and identify where and how to navigate the ecosystem to build and to launch a project. And also with our assistance and our Maxx launch service that we decided to do, which we will do a little bit more of a white glove service where we can help a project founder from point A to point Z to successfully try to launch on chain. And then the same thing with our mining community, building a mining community, because obviously proof of work is the consensus, and it's extremely important that we launch with a strong mining community that is tapped into the network, that is able to actually, start working on the hash rate, and increasing the security of it. So.
Yeah. So another thing. So now the utility section. We touched on all the utilities that we're kind of bringing to the table here at mainnet launch. And in terms of developers, we have a slew of active utilities here for their use as well. That includes Maxx Launch, which KP just touched on. It's a service that we're going to help projects that end-to-end support, provide end-to-end support for projects that want to launch on chain. Depending on the type of help that they need, we will be able to give that to them from beginning to end. MaxxPlay, of course, for users, we've already touched on that, but for projects as well to launch on chain, to swap for them to use for LP pairings. Ignite, of course, we touched on that before. Max Verify, we have a partnership with Cognitos, which provides KYC and audit services. So we'll be able to provide that directly for projects that are listing on chain. Of course, the projects we touched on that will be, the projects that do want to be, highlighted and identified through us on our website, we're going to ask them to have this service completed, because we can't prevent any type of scams or rug pulls or anything like that. There's nothing that we can say and provide 100% assurance on anything. However, what we can do is provide the tools that are needed for both projects and users to be as protected as possible. So for users, we have that token sniffer, so that all we can do is advise users, okay, before you invest in a project, throw in a token sniffer and see what comes out of that. And even with projects that launch on chain, have they been verified? Have they been KYC'd? So these are things that we're doing to help everybody that's using the chain. And we're really happy we were able to put all of this together. Before we touch on our pre-sale, I did think I'll just touch on the last part here. We really rely heavily on education. We think that's really important for a lot of people in this space. I mean, there's such a small population of people that are into crypto, and even those that are into crypto really don't know too much about it. They know the basics, but so many people don't know everything. Not that they need to know everything, but there's so many little items that they can brush up on. Even project owners. I mean, myself, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert. I've learned a lot over the last several months. But there are things that I am not an expert in, and I think that's what makes KP and myself made us so successful up until now. We've recognized our strengths, we've recognized our weaknesses, and we've approached those other stakeholders that can help us, excel in the areas that we're not strong in. So this knowledge base is just a GitBooks website that we're always expanding, and we're going to be expanding. It's never going to be finished. We're going to be adding more articles. We're going to be adding more how-to guides. We're going to be adding videos. So we have sections for developers, sections for users.
Do you want to pull that up,
sections for miners. Oh, I'm sorry. It's because it is not here. Hold on. I have to stop sharing and reshare the screen instead. Just give me a second here. Knowledge base. There we go. Sorry about that. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. So our knowledge base is split into sections. I mean, if there's information about MaxxChain for developers on the side here, for users, setting up your wallet, how to buy Maxx, how to buy power, information on what servers and nodes are, for example, what's a cross-chain bridge, what's arbitrage, market cap, so on and so forth. Miners even, we have our developers set up some information for miners, how to set up a node. All the information is here for them, and this is something that we're going to be expanding as we move forward. KP, anything you wanted to touch on this before we jump to the pre-sale page?
No, I think I think that thing gives a good overview. Like I said, this is not a token project. I mean, we do have our tokens, but obviously we are full-fledged blockchain that we're trying to really emerge into the space in a really strong way. So my suggestion is, if you are anywhere in the world where it's morning and you have time and you want to go over our website, grab yourself a cup or two of coffee, because it will take time to read it. And then if you're anywhere in the world where it's nighttime, grab yourself a beer or two and take your time to read it. And we're always obviously available in our Telegram chat if anybody has any questions with regards to anything on the website. And we're very active and very forthcoming with explaining, or in my situation, probably I'm guilty of over-explaining, but I'd rather over-explain than not explain at all.
Very well said there, KP. Great presentation, guys. And I love the fact that you guys actually took the time and recognized the importance of education. We have so many people are new to the space, and it will continue to be like that. And for you guys to really make sure that put a lot of emphasis on that, I think that's going to be very crucial. And that also is going to help your platform as well, because there are so many people come onto the space and they want to launch the project. Actually, I cannot think of a blockchain or even the launching pad that actually have a full detail of what it all means, right? Like all the definitions of what that means or how to do this. That is amazing, guys. So congratulations on that. Very well put together. One thing that I'm very interested in and what you talked about there, KP, is that IgniteQR. That seems to be very interesting. I've never heard anything of that nature before. Uh, Now, when is that going to be launched? And also, my question also is that when is the mainnet going to be launched? And would that be the same time as the mainnet?
Yeah, so IgniteQR has been an ongoing project for a better part of 6 months now. We are finally in testing. We are basically at the phases of, do we want to make the user face a bit more sexy, or change this or alter that? The functionality and all the code and source code behind it is all pretty much done and completed. So yeah, it is within our developers now and ourselves, a little small testing group that we are going through it to ensure that there's no issues. And I think our plan is to roll it out, within the next month or a couple months, along with Mainnet being launched, which will launch at the conclusion of our presale, because our presale is divided up in 3 phases that will take over the majority of the month of July, starting June 30th and ending July 28th. And then obviously Mainnet expected going live at the week following, with obviously a CX listing by the middle of the month of August. So hopefully by then we'll have IgniteQR hopefully, ready to go as well. Because we do want to offer a bit of an incentive to projects that are launching on MaxxChain with regards to a discount, since that's kind of like where we want to ensure that, some projects try to take advantage of its services and what it does, and roll it out. And it's going to roll out within our Maxx community as well. So, but yes, it is a very cool idea. And, it's all about identifying, what things, are in the space today and how things flow, and identifying if there's a solution to do something in a better way. And, to be honest with you, I think IgniteQR is really going to change the landscape if we get it out there in a big way, because, if you're being asked to do something and there's a monetary value behind it, even if it's not, it's small, but it can be quantifiable if it hits big. As a user, you go out and get 100 new people that actually engage with that QR code, and you get rewarded out of 100 people's, purchases on that specific project's chart. I mean, then that's, you as a user are benefiting and earning, but also the project itself is getting actual buys on the chart and actual real holders. So, we're really excited about this one. I mean, in a very big way. So, I mean, we've never seen it before. We came up with it, and, there's a fantastic team behind it. So.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. How is that going during the process of testing so far?
It's going good. It's going pretty good. I think the only thing that's left really is for us to tie in the Maxx swap code into it. It's already integrated with PancakeSwap and Uniswap, because obviously, as I said, it's cross-chain functional. So any project on any chain can actually, at least on those 2 chains, we'll start with Ethereum and Binance before we, let's say, move to Polygon or to any layer 2s or so forth, or whatever it is. But, for now, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Router are already aggregated in there, and we're going to do the same with MaxxSwap. So that way, any project that decides to sign up from either one of those chains, can create their profile, set up their escrow account, and obviously, get going with being able to, tell their community to, utilize the app in order for them to go out with their shilling efforts, and to ensure that that QR code identified to that specific project side to it. So we're pretty happy with where it is right now. So it's been a long road. I mean, it's a very complicated source code. So, but I feel like we're on the final stretch with it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very interesting to me. I come from a business background as well. So, I mean, obviously you guys as well. So I think that's the reason why you guys have thought of this concept, because I think it's very necessary, right?
Well,
I'll put it forward. It was
Nayan will tell you.
I'll put it forward. We were brought onto the team. The 2 other the 2 other owners of the project actually brought us onto the team. It was their idea. And we were actually brought onto the team before we had begun Maxx. So for us, it's something that we were excited about well before Maxx came into play. So of course, when MaxxChain was derived, we were always thinking about ways of integrating that, right?
Right.
So, and there are so many ways that this could be integrated into the chain. But it's not only that, there's so many ways that Ignite can be integrated into services outside of crypto even. So we have our sights set on many different fronts for Ignite. But for us on MaxxChain, I mean, we're looking at every possible front that we can bring this in, into the launch pad itself, for example, or directly in pre-sales. So there's so many ways we can do this, and we're really excited about the possibilities here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if it works out, I think like you said there, KP, I think it can change the landscape of marketing, right? Because now you're incentivizing both sides equally, right? For the developers or the project owner, and also
Well,
just the regular people, which is
not
pretty.
only that. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna
Sorry.
say, which is yeah, no, you're good. But now my question is now, is this you said that these guys brought you on. Now, within the crypto space, you had kind of alluded to, this can be taken to a traditional side of business, but within the crypto, is this exclusively for MaxxChain only, or is this something that is
No.
not exclusive?
No.
No,
No.
it's just that so obviously you can see, we've been involved with this way before even Maxx was a thing. One of the big questions that we hadn't really answered yet, which is funny how life works because and how things fall into place, was how to bring to market, right? Once we have this tool and this technology set up, how do we bring to market? Are we going to knock on every single project's door one by one? Or is there a smarter way to do it? And then obviously our journey started, Nayan and my journey obviously with Maxx and MaxxChain and how that evolved. And all of a sudden, 1 and 2 made sense as well. Here we have our own blockchain that we're going to actually bring it to market, and that will be our place where we will introduce it to. And then we will expand it to being offered to other projects on other chains. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we do want to start in crypto first because we see the immediate need and problem it solves. In regards to how things are done now. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we do have a roadmap for the actual company with regards to scalability into different industries and so forth. And that also will come along with additional development for the actual the app and so forth. So it's in the beginning phases, but yes, I mean, obviously, I think everything is falling into place now because we finally have a platform and a blockchain to bring it to market and an audience to actually offer it up as a service. Because it is there's no token associated with IgniteQR. It is a standing company, and it is a software solutions services setup rather than the actual crypto project. It just so happens to
Right.
be the crypto space and industry is where we're targeting it first for its initial deployment.
Right, and it doesn't need to be tokenized because I mean the business model is pretty easy. You just eat off the percent of the of the volume
Yes.
of the revenue coming through there. So that's the only way you can scale up, right? To unlimited. I mean, there's no ceiling. So no, I get it. I get it. No, that's awesome. I love you guys' mindset where you are not exclusively to your, I guess, development only or technology only, and you kind of have the mindset that whatever works well for the people to come on board and make it more efficient for the developers, etc. You are willing to bring on pretty much anything. So that's great. I think ultimately that should provide a lot of value for developers to come on board to your chain.
Well said. Well said.
All right, awesome. Yeah, hey, awesome presentation, and it seems that you guys are. I mean, it looks like your number one goal is to bring a lot of value, 100% to your chain there. Even though, like you said, it's small. Of course, you cannot compare to BSC or ETH or other, big chain right now. But hey, every project starts somewhere, right?
Exactly.
100%. And we're in the right place at the right time. If we, look, we're not looking to completely, innovate a new road for success for ourselves. The best way that I've seen any business do something before is there's always a benchmark out there that you want to strive for. And if you take a look at Phantom or Polygon or any of those other, layer ones that kind of came about, building and launching in the previous bear of 2018, right? They launched in that bear. They worked on, setting up a foundation. They put all the puzzle pieces together, and they just kept their heads down and kept, towards the end goal of capitalizing when the next bull comes. And that's what timeline we're on as well. We're not for the investor, and I won't say, and I know this is kind of odd, but with all the hoopla that's going on nowadays with meme coins and everything, and I got in tonight, and if I wake up tomorrow, am I rich? We're not for that type of investor. I mean, any short-term and long-term investor is welcome to our project, but we really are on a time length leading into the next bull run, because the same way that those projects built in the bear of 2018, they took time and they exploded though in 2021. And that's where the investors and the people that were on board early on capitalized on potential return on investment. And even though those profits were taken at the peak of a bull run, those projects are still sitting pretty and very foundationally safe and sound with regards to where they are today. They did not fall flat back down to where they were before, but they are now repositioning and rebuilding according to their next phase of their roadmap, leading into the next bull. And we are going to move with the same cycle that 4-year cycle that the space offers. So we're in the right place, right time, building in a bear, and we're looking forward to what we can do once the bull run comes.
Awesome. Well said. All right, so now that leads us to the current pre-sale of the Power token PWR, correct? And go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
I'll touch on this. So our Power pre-sale basically is split into 3 phases. We've allocated 100 million tokens, which is 10% of the minted supply for the pre-sale. And the first phase, which is going to be listing 15 million tokens at a price point of half a penny, 0.005. And that pre-sale is going to run from June 30th to July 6th. The second pre-sale is going to allocate 25 million tokens at a price of 0.8 cents, so is it 0.008, and that's going to run from July 14th to the 20th. And then the last phase, which is 60 million, the balance of the coins there, that's going to be a completely public pre-sale, which runs from July 28th to August 3rd, leading us to our mainnet launch, which we're slating latest August 11th. In terms of the raise itself, we're going to be doing the raise on an Innovation platform, which is by Vault Finance. We've been speaking with Chris, who's the CEO there. We've known him for quite a long time, and he was able to kind of help us out with this pre-sale raise. It's going to be in BNB. Minimum contributions 0.1 BNB with a maximum of 10. And also in terms of the whitelist for this, we're cutting into 2 tiers. So basically, the phase 1 is going to have 150 tier 1 whitelist spots with 100 tier 2. Now, how that works is for the first 10 minutes of the phase 1 pre-sale, the tier 1 whitelist spots will be opened, and then after 10 minutes, we'll open up to the other 100. Phase 2 works in the same concept, 300 spots for tier 1, and then 200 for tier 2, and then of course, like I said, public. In terms of how we're giving out those spots, we do have a Gleam contest that's currently live until Wednesday, July 12th. And within those Gleam contests, there are going to be individual winners that can win up to a combined $10,000 worth of power based on the pre-sale prices. So there's a lot to be won there in terms of whitelist spots and in terms of power coins. We're also having several contests within our Telegram chat, daily trivia. We just started a big buy contest for both tokens. The biggest buy for both tokens on a daily basis for the next 15 days. Will win a whitelist spot as well as 250,000 Maxx tokens. So that's an interesting contest we have up right now, and we do plan to have some other items coming forward, but that's what we have right now. In our pre-sale page, everything is kind of listed out here in terms of details, high level, what is the ecosystem, the utility tokens, MaxxChain itself, and also links to distribution of the pre-mined supply. So I think this is something we should touch upon as well.
Yeah, we can touch upon this.
Yeah.
So we have 1 billion coins that are pre-mined. 450 million of those coins are actually going to be burnt. The 100 million is set off for this specific pre-sale. We have 2 million that are set aside for obviously these giveaways, which is basically $10,000 worth, and a couple other giveaways within our Telegram. I will say that phase one will have $2,500 in giveaways to 10 people, so $250 worth of power coin at the price of 0.005. Will be split among those 10 winners, and then one sole winner will actually win $2,500 worth of power coin. Same thing goes for phase two, $2,500 worth of power coin at 0.008, divided up by 10 people, and then one sole winner of $2,500 at the price point of 0.008 will also have that opportunity there. So, you know, I do encourage everybody to, at the very, very minimum, please just at least engage with the Gleam contest and get your name in there and get your wallet listed, just because it is going to be randomized. So that gives you a fair chance, and, you know, of an opportunity to be one of those winners. Aside from that, we do have projects that are following us from that old chain that we were launched on as a project. We have allocated a certain amount of LP set aside for them that we decided to match on what they had there, so they can redeploy and relaunch their projects along with their communities that they're bringing on along. We do have a team wallet that will be vested over a year, and after it's been vested for over a year, we will actually be on a schedule, on a vested schedule therefore after. So not all, like, the entire supply there of what's allocated to the entire team will be like unlocked. So we'll, you know, for instance, vested for 1 year untouched, and then after that it may be like 5% released every month or something like that for, you know, until it's completely out. So we also do have 100 million power coins that are set aside for exchanges. Our first exchange that we will list on, you know, come August will actually eat into this a little bit, but that is the entire supply that will be available for every single exchange that we decide to list on. So there won't be anything more than that. 243 million are set aside for the treasury. That treasury there is pretty much for marketing opportunities or engagements that we decide to do with. If we engage with, you know, bringing on a huge influencer or marketer or a company, you know, to assist with us, any kind of dealings and negotiations are going to be written and signed off contractually, and we will not structure any deal whatsoever that just gives blatant coins for, to somebody. It will all have to be vested on our terms only, because we have to protect the chart and protect any, you know, all the holders that are coming in, you know, through pre-sale as well as projects. Also, discussions have been ongoing for the last couple of weeks with several interested parties, incubators, as well as also VCs that may be wanting to jump on board with us. We are not, you know, going to go ahead and structure any kind of deal if we decide to bring in a VC for an exchange for significant funding that could propel the blockchain even further and market it globally in a big way. Any VC on my terms, when I get to the negotiating table, is going to have to be across multiple years, and it will have to be on a vested schedule the way I determine fit on how the release of any coins do come about. So you guys have to understand, you know, when it comes to Nayan and myself, we have experience with this. I negotiate for hundreds and, you know, for tens of millions of dollars of freight a year with companies. You know, we are not inexperienced when it comes to ensuring that if we structure any kind of deal for any allocation of supply that's not part of circulating supply, we will not allow that supply to hit the market in any kind of way that it actually hurts or destroys the project whatsoever. So aside from that, you know, the Nayan went over the phases and the different dates, you know, and we do have a breakdown on where some of the allocation of the actual raises does go with regards to, you know, some development. And obviously, we are going to be bringing in, every blockchain has a stable coin. Instead of us saying that we're going to build a stable coin from scratch or create our own or tie any kind of like weird algorithmic way for it to hold a dollar in value, we're not going to do any of that. We don't want any kind of, you know, Luna 2.0 situations going on here. So we are going to basically take USDT and we're going to bridge USDT into the chain. So thus anybody that's part of a project that wants to stable up will stable into USDT. So also PowerCoin, when it does list on an exchange, is going to be paired with USDT anyway. So it just makes sense that we just stick with USDT in that regard. let's see here, what else, aside from that, there is some, that 25% with regards to research is just, I wouldn't say that the entirety will go to that, but every blockchain nowadays that is in the top 20, you'll see that they're not just completely geared towards, servicing just entirely crypto, right? Blockchain technology is something that I think will benefit the world in a big way. I think there's an adoption curve that is, a bit slow with how does blockchain technology integrate to a certain industry, whether it's like insurance or, financial services or whatever. But we do have an actual real world use case for our chain and the blockchain technology behind it. It is something Nayan and I feel very passionate about. It's something that Nayan and I are very close to with regards to what we do in our real world jobs. We're both we both work in essence in transportation and logistics. We live and breathe that world and how it operates nowadays. And with regards to shipments and goods across, countries or even within the United States, it is a broken system, and it's a system that is archaic and still relies on real old methods of ways of paper logging and stuff like that. Very slow transactions between stakeholders and shipping companies and manufacturers. So we see a potential opportunity for how could we take blockchain technology and take everything that we do every day that actually is a pain in our ass, to be honest with you. And what if we had the blockchain technology and the peer-to-peer transactions within seconds, and we could fund or, we could provide these solutions in a real world setting. So we do have an actual business plan. We're building that eventually. And this is more on a long-term, roadmap with regards to a real world use case. But it is something we are going to investigate and look into and see if there's a point of entry into the market to perhaps institute blockchain technology into the logistics and transportation industry.
And I will add that this 25% is only if we are pursuing that. So it's not like, the 25% is going to be allocated and wasted if we don't pursue that. The research phase involves us looking into it, and that's really not going to require any funding because, again, that's something that is part of our background. But if it comes down to us actually beginning the development phase of that, that's where this funding will be going.
Yeah, logistics and transportation is a big industry. I've done business internationally, so I know what it's like. It's crazy. It's actually a nightmare, actually. I went with UPS. I stopped working with them. I went with FedEx as well. It's a nightmare. There's a big disconnect for sure between if you were to work with a different country, there's a big disconnect. And I had my shipment came in late a few times. It cost hundreds of $1,000s. Yeah, so it's a big nightmare. But it is a big industry that is very profitable.
Yeah, it's really big, but we have to remember that, when we do dissect this, we're going to start on a very micro level and kind of work our way up. And I think that's where our experience comes in because our knowledge of this industry works in that sense. We're not going to be looking at, changing the entire game in one shot. We're going to start low and then start moving up because, we can't deal with the FedExes and UPSs of the world, at the stage that we're at right now. And at the same time, we're going to be realistic and know that, when we start this blockchain, it's not something we can pursue right away because, there's not going to be a blockchain that just starts and is able to infiltrate an industry as large as this. So we're going to have to build a base, and that's why we have our short-term goals in terms of the blockchain itself and growing it with the projects and developers and the users. And then on the side, while we do the research and development, we'll get the blockchain up to a stage where we can really pursue this. So that's something we're looking at. And I think, again, KP and myself, we look at this as a business. A lot of project owners look at crypto as a side hustle, something for fun. They don't take it as seriously as they should, but we look at this as a business. People are investing their money, and we're looking at ways to help them make that money grow.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure that once you guys get to the point where it's profitable, you guys will have strategies on how the revenue or the profit will kick back to the ecosystem as a whole. Correct?
100%.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're looking at a real world use case because, if you're tapping into an industry that is in the billions and you're able to even carve out just a small piece of that pie and then be able to use that to give back and further bolster the chain itself and everybody within it. and everybody within it actually benefit from that? Absolute 100%. You know, I mean, we don't want to just entirely look into this crypto space as the only opportune space for revenue, because, you know, it's like, I feel like it's like, you know, it's just one small echo chamber where everybody's just pretty much eating each other up. And I think that if we can look at opportunities for revenue from also, you know, real world use cases that can be brought into the space, that's even bigger than the space itself.
100%. The funny thing is, me and my team, we had a long discussion on this and why the reason why you have a lot of projects fail, because it is necessary to find other revenue sources from outside in, right? Like you said, I never heard that term before, but it makes sense. You know, everyone is eating each other up, right? And that's why you have a lot of projects fail, because there isn't, it's fully reliant on the taxes, right? A lot of projects out there. So, you know, I'm glad that you guys think far. Rightfully so. You have to treat this as a business, and you have to figure out how to continue to develop, but ultimately bring in profit, right? Like real profit. So without doing the math, guys, three phases, what are you guys looking to raise in the USD?
I think once all three phases concluded, it's 875,000, 75,000 in the first phase, 200,000 in the second, and the public sales is 600,000. So, you know, we've staggered this this pre-sale in a way where obviously, you know, each phase hopefully will build up on the other one. So, you know, our goal right now is, you know, we are marketing ourselves and obviously doing an AMA with you guys, have a couple other AMAs laid up. We've done a couple of, we have a YouTube AMA that's getting ready to be listed on a couple of YouTube channels that have a rather significant following with some pretty cool individuals behind it that been around the space for some time. So, you know, the goal for us is, you know, we don't want to fall flat come, you know, the day that power lists. But we feel pretty confident that, you know, with the amount of interest that I have seen behind the scenes, you know, that we will successfully get there. So you have to understand, you know, this pre-sale right now is an opportunity for people to get in at a very attractive price point. The other thing that I did not touch upon, that is something that we've learned through our experience with regards to layer one blockchains and them launching, is we've seen this mistake done countless and countless of times. And honestly, the charts don't lie. I'm a big chart kind of guy, and the charts never lie, right? When Ethereum moved to Merge 2.0 and moved to proof of stake, there was a huge void in the market with regards to miners being left pretty much out of business. And obviously, you know, when that happens, right, somebody's going to try to come in and step in and capitalize on that opportunity. And when it came to Ethereum side and EVM, you know, you had ETHW and ETHFair kind of show up to try to fill that void there initially. Those two blockchains obviously launched, but I think the problem is if you go to their charts, they're 98% down from actually all-time high. And, you know, when they initially launched, they didn't really even, you know, they did not go that high in the first place. But the problem is that they overvalued their actual market cap with regards to what they decided to launch at. You know, valuating something in a $10 billion range, you know, is pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. You know, where's that value? Where's that liquidity? But they did. And, you know, their projects now are 98% down, and their charts are 98% down, and it looks pretty ugly. It doesn't look attractive for an investor to come in. And, you know, it's an uphill battle for them. We saw the same thing with proof of memes. You know, they overvaluated their blockchain, and, you know, that had a 99% decline. CoreDAO recently launched, and I think they're going to be okay, but they also overvaluated their chain, and, you know, they went on a 90% or downtrend as well. And they launched at a, you know, $500 million or a little bit more than that, or roughly around there. I think they hit even 20. I mean, they hit well over $1 billion in their launch, but still, you know, went through that decline. Our price point in terms of our actual like pre-mine supply, not accounting for the burn, half a cent is a $5 million market cap. 8 cent, 0.008 is 8 million on phase 2 opportunity for entry. And public sale is at 1 cent, which is basically 10 million. And the list price at 0.012 is a $12 million market cap valuation. I think us taking into consideration what we already built infrastructure wise, the projects that are already going to be launching, and the interest that we've seen from developers and projects that do want to come in and provide that additional, you know, demand for PowerCoin. as well as also the investors that we've seen that really want to be, a part of this. Also, an attractive price point for miners in order for them to not put them too far away from potential profit. Because, we are proof of work. We have to always ensure miners are there. They are crucial. Without miners, the network is not secure, and, there's vulnerabilities to it. So, if miners are going to be attracted to moving their equipment and their computational power over to our chain, we need to put them within striking distance of potential break even or even profitable opportunity. So that's why we felt that we think launching at a attractive market cap that is low in comparison to all the other L1s provides a fantastic entry point. And it also allows a chart to have that buy pressure and to create more of an upward momentum and build a beautiful chart over time, rather than actually a chart that starts high and all you're doing is throwing, hundreds of thousands of dollars of market making just to be able to buy all the coins back that are being sold. And, don't forget, we don't have any airdrops or free things going around, aside from the few people that are on Maxx right now that have bought Maxx token and are staking to earn Power Coin. And that's not really even significant in terms of the rewards that they're getting in terms of the supply that's going to be available. So, we're positioning this for growth rather than actually, just coming up with numbers that just seem sexy. To me, a sexy number of saying, yeah, we're launching at $1 billion market cap versus wait a minute, you think I can get in on a layer one at a $10 million market cap valuation? And let me see where all the other prominent layer ones that have launched and where they are in terms of market cap today. Okay, yes, that risk reward ratio, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think it's important to weigh all those options out and make an accurate assessment and value the project, especially the initial market cap, accordingly. I think the chart actually plays crucial. If I was a new investor, I'd come in and look at the chart, like you said, 90% down. I'm going to be like, right? Probably skim to the next one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think the chart is very crucial. And what about so the question is now, for those that just maybe coming in to listen to the AMA, what is the benefit of getting the power token? And I also, KP, you spoke on the staking platform earlier, but did we talk about how they can actually earn the different tokens on the blockchain as well? Could you elaborate on that as well?
So our staking platform that is part of our Maxx tokens, right? If you're on Ethereum or BSC, the staking platform provides you one reward, and it's the reward of the power coin. So it basically takes anybody that's in Ethereum and BSC, and it automatically makes them into a holder if they buy our Maxx token, and they start staking it to earn power coins. So we build holders that way. That way they can take their earned power, and when mainnet is live and there's projects available that they want to use their power coins for reward, they're rewarded with, to come and engage and invest or buy into projects on chain, they have power coin. Otherwise they would have to go buy power coin out on the exchange, which is fine as well. However, the staking platform for our Maxx token, when we launch it inside the actual blockchain, so basically Maxx wrapped power will be the pair. That staking platform will still give the option for our Maxx holders of that token in the MaxxChain to get rewarded with a power coin. But we do have 2 additional staking pools where we can integrate projects on chain and go buy a bag or buy a pool, an amount of their tokens, and stick them into our pools, and help showcase them a little bit and give them that little extra boost in marketing. Now, of course, we will be very particular with what projects we offer to our stakers that are part of our Maxx ecosystem, that are invested on the Maxx token, to earn those rewards of those other types of projects, because we want to ensure we're offering good value and good projects with good roadmaps, and that they are KYC and they are audited and so forth with regards to whatever utilities they may have. But the Maxx token on MaxxChain will have a triple rewards staking type of platform versus the ones on BSC and Ethereum just being single power coin. So there's that with regards to the staking. And then what was your other question you were asking before the staking again?
Yeah, don't they have the ability to on the tree of staking? Aren't they able to earn the project's token as well? Is that how it works?
No. I mean, the staking platforms that are tied to Max token are basically the only way that anybody that's invested in those can earn Power Coin as a rewarded opportunity. Only within our MaxxChain Max token will you have the ability to then also earn, let's say, another token that we decide to put in that pool for our Max holders to earn that coin, that token specifically. So.
Okay, thanks for that
Yeah,
clarification there.
and the APYs are going to be everything because it really depends on the volume. So the volume, there's taxes on the tokens, and that volume is going to drive the amounts that are raised for the taxes, and then those taxes are used to purchase the tokens and fill the pools. So it's a circle that goes around and constantly changes, and really depends. You know, the other projects that we list on the triple reward staking platform. I mean, you know, they can change on a monthly basis. They can change every 6 months. It really depends on how things flow at that point. But the owners of Max token on the Max chain are going to be able to, you know, take all their tokens and split it 3 ways if they want and earn all 3 different tokens. It's really up to them.
I see. Awesome. All right, sounds good. Now, you guys will have all these audited prior to the mainnet, or let's talk about that for a bit.
So our 2 tokens are already audited, and that was done by interfi. Our bridge has already been audited by our partner, Cognitos. When we do go to mainnet, we're going to have everything audited by them. We'll have all of the audit information out on our knowledge base. Yeah, of course, everything that comes out of us prior to mainnet, we will have audits completed.
All right, awesome. Okay, now you mentioned on the roadmap, of course, the R&D on the logistic and shipping there. But besides getting the mainnet to launch, what are the other plans on the roadmap?
Well,
so for us,
yeah, it's quite interesting because, right? I mean, every other blockchain project that you've been invested in, or that tries to build out their project, they focus on mainnet, and then after mainnet is launched, then they start building a swap, and maybe they start building a bridge, and maybe they start building other utilities that are tied to it. But we're going to be ready, infrastructure and roadmap wise. Once we're launched on mainnet, John, Nayan and I are focused on chain growth, and that is basically bringing projects and engaging with other projects and developers to come on chain. There's no point of building something if you can't have customers within it. So our focus is going to completely, change over to, on-chain business development, basically.
Yeah, and those discussions are already taking place. We're already talking to projects in terms of launching on chain, whether they come on close to mainnet launch a little bit after. I mean, there are projects that we're talking to, projects that are interested in launching, and projects that are interested in using our bridge to cross launch and make use of the bridge. So those are the types of discussions we're going to be having going forward. And of course, there are other items that we're looking at with our developer to keep him working. For example, our swap, eventually making it into more of a full-fledged DEX. There's a lot of opportunity we see there to increase that. Like I mentioned before, the Lotto DApp that we have for our tokens. I mean, we're not going to neglect the tokens. We're going to continue building there. So there's a lot of little items that we're going to have in our roadmap once we do get to mainnet launch. But of course, with everything we've done in the past 5 weeks, our plates are pretty full right now. And as we start finishing some items, we're going to be filling that up with something else. But our community is always involved and advised throughout the entire roadmap.
Yeah, I mean, initially what we are, right? I mean, we built the blockchain, we built the mainnet, and we built the architecture for it to operate. And after, our job in terms of like development in that respect, in that regard, is complete. Okay, because we're the initial on-chain developing team, but that's not where we need to. We don't want to be always the initial on-chain development team. We want other projects to come and build competing swaps, or even DEXs, or even more bridges. We need that innovation to happen. where there's there's more demand for economic activity within the chain, because if we can focus on increasing economic activity within the chain, which is basically buying and selling and trading and using PowerCoin, because obviously that's the nature, that's the whole sole purpose of the PowerCoin. You will need PowerCoin to do anything you have to do on chain. If you want to buy into a project that's on MaxxChain, you need PowerCoin. We're talking with a NFT marketplace. We know there's going to be projects that are launching on chain that are probably going to want to have NFT collections. Okay, great. How do we service those projects? Where do we point those projects and developers to go list their NFT collections and their holders that hold those NFTs to trade and those NFTs amongst each other, right? Like an OpenSea type of concept. Well, there's an up and coming NFT marketplace that is going to pretty much, I think, rival OpenSea and Blur. And I think we've already been in discussion with them, and they're intending to list PowerCoin as a native option on their actual NFT marketplace. That way, we can point projects on chain that launch and have NFT collections to actually that marketplace. And that's where basically a lot of the transacting will be going on. But you will need PowerCoin to do it, right? So, it's all those different small things that we're working on right now to ensure. Another thing that we're working on to ensure before we're live on Mainnet is working with DEX tools, so we can actually have our own little spot for our blockchain. If you go to DEX tools and click on Ethereum or BNB based on what chart you're looking at for what token, you'll see an entire list of icons with a bunch of blockchains. Well, we're going to be on there. That's our intent. And then that way we have a place for, people to go and engage and see, projects launching on chain. The same thing with DEX Screener. So, there's a lot of moving parts with a lot of different stakeholders. We have to ensure that, everything's in place. It's not just launching a mainnet and boom, there you get a blockchain. Launching a mainnet is easy. That's the easy part of a blockchain. Doing everything else and bolting on all the different bells and whistles and putting all that together is the hard part, which is what Nayan and I are really good at, because that's what we do on a daily basis in our real world jobs. We identify problems and issues, or essentially initiatives within our organizations that we work with. We put teams together and resources with those individuals and certain skill sets that are required to execute those and try to get to the end goal of that project. So it's no different. It's no different than what we're doing right here.
Yeah, I can sense that with you guys, and it comes with a lot of real experience, business experience that you guys had, or with your current job there. I can see it. No, you guys are very mindful of all aspects of the business. So no, I give you guys props for able to get up to this point in 5 weeks. So just to recap, the pre-sale altogether 3 phases, and it looks like it starts on July. Is it July 12th?
30th. July 30th
July
is the first pre-sale. Yep.
June 30th.
June 30th, and you can earn your way into a whitelist spot for that first pre-sale through our Gleam contest, or join our Telegram to partake in some of the competitions that we're doing, that we're giving whitelist opportunities away. Right now, we're running a biggest buy contest daily for the next 15 days for our Maxx BSC and Maxx Ethereum tokens. So the biggest buy for each of those tokens will receive a whitelist spot, plus the 250,000 extra bonus Maxx tokens as well. So there's a way to win that. We're doing a little trivia randomly for a whitelist spot. We're also doing a profile pic change and most active user within our Telegram group, for a whitelist spot. So obviously, the goal is obviously to try to earn one of those whitelist spots. But at the end of the day, guys, all 3 phases are really at a discounted price compared to where we're going to list PowerCoin. It's just that some of the early phases are just some of the juicier, more opportunistic price points to get in. Just don't forget, it's like, 0.005, 0.008 for phase 2. But if you don't get in on any of those, or you don't earn a whitelist spot, not all is lost, because the public sale is at 0.011 cents, and we are launching at 0.012. So you are still getting a 20% discount on getting in on the phase 3 public sale compared to where we're going to list Power.
Okay, awesome. And you said the valuation is around 2 million, correct?
The valuation at list is 0.012. It will be comparatively at 12 million if you took it against the entire pre-mine supply of 1 billion. But since we are burning 450 million, it's more like a $6 million market cap.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, guys, and we will pin the Telegram and make sure you guys join that. And also, when you guys are ready on the donation link, let us know. We'll post that as well for you guys.
Yes, 100%. We really appreciate it, guys. I mean, you guys have been great, fantastic questions. I really I commend you because it helps us really dive into the ecosystem, and there's so much to talk about. But you guys have been fantastic hosts, and we really appreciate the platform and being able to present to your community today. And like I said, if anybody else has any questions, we are as active as anybody can be from a project founder perspective daily in our Telegram chat.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys being here as well. And I could definitely sense the level of commitment, but also the talking to myself.
It's I mean, think about it, right? I mean, my background, my background is very entrepreneurial, and if you're going to be in a business that you're trying to build and grow, the number one thing you need first is passion. And hopefully you guys can feel the passion that we have about what we're doing, and we are definitely 100% committed to get this to where it needs to go. And so many things have happened during our journey, going from Palm Maxx and being on Palm Chain to a token project to trying to launch our own blockchain. If anything that we've done very well is pivot with everything that's been thrown at us, and we will continue to pivot in order for us to actually succeed. So
awesome. I have my mic off, but yeah, no, I appreciate you guys being here, and it's actually kind of nice to talk to you guys, entrepreneur and just real business people with a lot of experience. So I can actually definitely can sense that, and you guys it comes across that you guys really want this project to succeed, and I love the far thinking that you guys are doing for the project, and I think it's necessary with any project, right? You have to treat it like a real business, and I think everyone in here should do that. But yeah, man, overall, I love I think I love the project, and I think just meeting you guys here for the first time, I think you guys will work hard at it, and I look forward to see this blockchain succeed.
Thank you, and we'll definitely come back for a follow-up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that said, guys, we've run almost 2 hours. So my man, Mike, it's been keep tracking some of the questions. We don't have a lot of time, but Mike's gonna come on and he's gonna ask a few questions away. Is that okay with you guys?
100%.
All right, thank you, Seattle. KP, Nayan, amazing presentation, very well articulated. Not much of anything was even left out on that, so there was quite a few questions.
Thank you.
Most of them I answered. I'll try to get to the ones here that I feel were maybe not answered, but I do see Derek with his mic unmuted. Derek, do you have a question? I'm going to go ahead and mute you there, Derek, because I can hear a little bit of feedback. First one is coming in from Cargo Queen. Her first three were answered, but fourth is most projects have some type of program to encourage community participation on the test net. Do you guys have any sort of test nets that you're going or testing or for the contract that the community can kind of get in and maybe help you out with this testing?
So I'll touch on that. I mean, sorry, go ahead,
Go
KP.
ahead, Nayan. Yeah, our testnet is up. Our faucet is up. So, I mean, you can engage with the actual testnet itself. We do have miners that have hooked up and mining on the testnet just to see that things are going smooth. We have hooked up utilities to it, with our swap just to test them out ourselves. But in terms of like the, I've seen this before where other blockchains that have a bit of a longer period of testing or a testnet out and rewarding engagement. It's just that we're moving so fast that we've gone ahead and done a lot of the testing ourselves, and obviously the miners hooking up to it is one of the main things that we want to ensure is working well. But we're mainnet's just right around the corner, so prolonging a longer period of testnet and having more engagement within it is not necessarily a big requirement. But yes, I mean, it is out. Testnet is out. Faucet is out. Our RPC and everything for you to swap it to go ahead and add to your custom networking within your wallet if you want to go ahead and do that and then get into testnet. It's all available there. But I mean, mainnet is like a month and a half away, like 2 months away or less. So
amazing, and I appreciate that. Hopefully that answers your question there, Cargo Queen. Next one is rolling in from Bright Chris 2. This is coming down to quarter 2 on your roadmap there about the NFTs. Might not be too much info on this yet, but his question is, will there be some upper hand of some features in the project which will be given to your future NFT holders? Like kind of, slightly states that, where'd it go? That having some sort of discount in the weekly lotto. How is the weekly lotto going to tie into your NFTs?
Nayan? I think Nayan.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, basically, we did touch on NFT usage in a lot of the apps. So basically, the first part, and I apologize if you guys hear any background noise. I'm just picking up the kids from daycare right now. So we're gonna have NFTs set up actually that will allow users that purchase the NFTs to select an additional number, which will greatly increase their chances for the lottery. So that's one that we have on the way, that we will have on the way with the lottery platform. And of course, NFTs have so much potential that we've thought of different ways of implementing them, but at the same time, I also hate the fact of implementing NFTs just for the sake of having them as a raise and then not really providing a true benefit to the user immediately. So as we do see opportunities to do so, we will release an NFT if we feel like there's a potential use and immediate benefit to the users themselves. But as of right now, the NFT for the lottery platform is the only one we have on schedule right now.
Very good. Appreciate that, Nayan. Second question here from Bright Chris 2 is about the market and development fees reducing down to 1%. His question is, do you feel that this 1% will sustain your upcoming features in your roadmap?
Absolutely. Yes, that 1% is coming out of our Maxx tokens, and obviously it is an additional source of development revenue, but all of our actual that are on chain, like our swap, our bridge, our pools, our farms, all of them have a little, fees associated with those. They're very small. Obviously, a swap fee is like 0.03%, 0.003% or something like that. But with regards to volume, those fees do add up, and obviously there's additional areas within our actual ecosystem that feeds revenue back to us in a way where if we need additional development funds to further the project in any kind of way, it's there. So that 1% is really only just one area really for where funding could come from development. So
perfect. Thank you for that answer, that KP. I'm sorry, who was that there? Someone just asked something. Anyways, third question here from Bright Chris is about staking. I know we touched pretty in depth on the staking, but I think we might have missed the one major question that most asked. Is there going to be an early unstaking fee? If so, what would it be?
Yeah, so the staking platform that's tied to the Maxx tokens right now are 15-day stake and a 30-day stake. There is a 15%, is it 15%, Nayan? I think it's 15% penalty if you unstake early.
Yes.
That penalty actually goes towards burning Maxx supply. So you don't need to unstake after your staking pool is up. So if you stake for 30 days and the 30 days are up, you can still continue to leave your holdings of Maxx staked, and you will keep earning power. You just don't bear the actual unstaking fee when you unstake once you concluded all 30 days, but you may leave your tokens in there and they will continue to earn. Also, I will say that out of the staking rewards that you are accumulating for staking Maxx and earning power, 10% of the actual power rewards go towards burning power.
Burning power. Okay, very good. Appreciate that. This is actually one of my favorite questions that I always like to personally ask every team. I know there's been so much been going on with you guys for the past couple of months here, where it's been jam, go. But what if you could pick one thing, maybe two, has been your biggest hurdle, difficulty in building, constructing, whatever it is in the project to date?
Nayan, if you want to go first, then I can go.
Okay. You know, we've done so much. It's really hard to pinpoint anything, but you know, I like to think that we've been fairly lucky in terms of what we've done and the stakeholders that we've dealt with up until now. I'd say the only difficulty, really, the biggest hurdle that we've had is really being dependent on the previous chain. You know, we were trying to build something and help the chain grow. And you know, visions weren't aligned in that sense. So us being our own bosses, I guess you can say, helped us get to where we are. Sorry, I apologize. My kids are yelling in the background. KP, you want to finish that up?
Yeah, I echo what he said. I think, you know, there have been hurdles along the way of our journey, right? With, you know, being a project on chain with a chain that decides to migrate and try to relaunch itself at a later date, and then us not having any opportunity, you know, to further our project there. But it just provided an opportunity for us to further, you know, pivot and find a solution. So, you know, I think the hurdles that we have seen, you know, we've just overcome by identifying, okay, great, we're faced with this. Now, what do we do? And then what do we do to mitigate any other hurdles that are, you know, on the horizon? And what are those expectations, you know, that have to be met in order for us to succeed and get through them? I mean, you know, the Pinksale was another hurdle. You know, I mean, we did do an Ethereum, you know, a Pinksale for our Ethereum Max token that did not fill or hit soft cap. And, you know, we spent quite a lot of money on marketing and AMAs with that. You know, and we did not hit that raise. So, you know, we pivoted and, you know, we gathered a small private group to, you know, help us out and stealth launched the actual token, and now it's stealth launched, right? So, you know, that hurdle was overcome, and, you know, more hurdles will be, you know, on the horizon, but, you know, that's what we're built for. You know, I mean, usually I love hurdles because they usually provide opportunity for you know, for solutions, and sometimes out of the solutions comes amazing new ideas. So, you know, if everything was that easy, you know, I mean, we would, you know, we would just be, it would all be very boring. Let's just put it that way.
I like that. Very good answer, guys. Let's see. The last one I'm going to take here for the questions here from the community, because I know we're running about 2 hours over here, is from Blessed One. There's 3 questions. First one is, will the team consider implementing MaxxChain naming services, which involves creating names for wallet addresses, hashes, and other machine-readable identifiers, just as we typically see in the Ethereum blockchain?
Great question. Has not yet come up, but I like it. And so perhaps we put that on the list, Nayan, to look into it. So see, another fantastic idea right there. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's a bit more of a, you know, minute detail, right? I mean, we're dealing with such high surface, such high, you know, we're dealing with such things that are on a larger magnitude than, let's say, offering something like that. But obviously, I think when the dust settles of some of the bigger items that we're trying to tackle and what we're trying to accomplish right now, yeah, I'm sure that would have crossed my desk at some point, one or another. But glad that I heard it here, because yes, I've seen that obviously on Ethereum with the different names of wallets, and, you know, I don't know anything about how to go doing that. So it's going to be a point of contention with our discussion with our dev and seeing how that can be offered on chain.
Awesome. Yeah, that great question, that last one. Second one from him is coming in at, let's see, where to go? Let me scroll back to it. There it is. On a normal round, and I don't know if you quite have this information yet, how long would it take a single transaction to be approved and completed compared to, you know, maybe some of the other blockchains? Have you ran that data yet?
Yeah, so I mean, we don't have an actual, like, you know, metric to tell you so many TPS per second, you know, transactions per second, but, you know, it is going to be pretty comparable to like when we were on the other old chain, Palm Chain as a project. And, you know, in the beginning, guys, you know, obviously congestion and transaction speed is not going to be an issue. It will literally take mere seconds for a transaction to go through on swapping your power for a project, or even, you know, transferring your power from one wallet to another. You know, so transaction speeds are probably going to be within seconds. 1 or 2, 3 seconds maximum. So that's what our experience was before, and there was still pretty good activity that was on chain that we experienced when we were part of that chain. As we grow, I'm sure transaction speeds may slow, but obviously that we're talking about 10,000 projects and hundreds of thousands of users on chain for us to probably see any significant deterioration on congestion. So but no, transaction speed is going to be pretty good early on and for quite some time, to be honest.
Very good, very good. And I'm going to double this question actually and add to it with the testnet, with the faucets, right? We all know that some of these faucets really get congested sometimes, where it takes an hour or 10 hours plus sometimes even to get some of your testnet tokens. Probably haven't had enough congestion really on your testnet to really thoroughly test that. But what would you think about that? Would the congestion be so tough sometimes, like some of these testnets, where it would take you?
I would not say so. I mean, right now, as I said, we have not had any issues with congestion through the testnet, and obviously we don't anticipate any kind of congestion issues when mainnet goes live. I will paint you a picture. Is that we could probably scale and grow to significant amounts of market cap and probably 100, maybe to the 100 to 200,000 users on chain with who knows how many projects, and we will still be pretty lean and efficient with regards to transaction speeds and so forth. So I think that the issue is when we become probably as big as half an Ethereum, or not even, but congestion will be an issue in the future since we are proof of work. And, honestly, we just have to probably find out different solutions by then, on how we can solve those issues. And moving to a different consensus of proof of stake is probably not the solution that you will get. So, but for now, that means that anybody that's on this call and anybody that does get into power now and does actually have the luxury of experiencing an issue with congestion, well, I assume you may not even be here anymore because you'll probably be rich somewhere, cashed out, if we grow that big.
100%. Last question I'm going to take here from Bless One from the whole community, and great questions, guys. A lot of these were already answered, but the questions were there. Is also from Bless One. This is actually a pretty good one. I like this one. One feature that hasn't been properly utilized in so many blockchain explorers, in addition of social media handles and other important infos directly on the blockchain, will you guys consider making it necessary for anybody who wants to deploy any tokens or NFT contracts, so that investors won't have to depend on third-party areas for this information?
I'm a little bit confused on the question with regards to the Block Explorer and also the deployment of smart contracts and so forth.
I guess the ultimate question is here, how DexTool and some of these other explorers, they give you the option of all their socials. If I'm reading his question right, anyways, they give you all their socials, the Telegram, the website, Twitter, etc., all available to click right on the Explorer itself, right, without having to go search inside of a Telegram.
Got it. So yes. So we will actually. There is a partner project named Astrospaces that is actually a Web3 social media platform that profiles projects themselves along with everything that project may actually have, meaning direct link back to the Block Explorer, link to their Telegrams, link to their websites, engagement within the web social media platform of that profile project, and users engaging with that project. So actually, I'll take it one step further. DexTools is just a Dex, and it just provides you information, but it doesn't provide user engagement. Where Astrospaces is, think of Facebook and DexTools married in one, and that will be available for everybody.
Love it. Amazing answers. Well, that is all the questions I'm going to take for community today. Ryan and KP there, I appreciate all the answers and the great presentation from both of you guys today. Great work. Great, amazing work you guys are doing. And I'll be definitely following along with you guys, and I'll be looking forward to a follow-up as well. With that being said, I'm going to kick it back to Seattle. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike. KP, Nayan, great presentation, brothers. I think you guys are legit, right? I just want to remind everyone here, this is not financial advice, that this is fully for educational purposes only. The Telegram is pinned. Make sure you guys join, which I saw a bunch of guys join already. But we ran out of time. We have another meeting coming up here. But if you guys have more questions, make sure you ask your questions over there. And once we get the pre-sale link, we will pin it over here as well. It looks like the Gleam contest is going on right now. So if you guys are interested in the whitelist, make sure you take part in it. All right, KP, Nayan, last thoughts for you guys?
Nayan, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I'm just getting home here. I just want to say thanks for honestly, thanks for the opportunity. I mean, it was great to be able to be on this platform for almost 2 hours now, over 2 hours now. As you can see, there's so much that we have to offer, and a lot that we've done, and there's a lot more that we're going to do. We know our job's not finished. There's so much more that we can grow here, and we're really looking forward to it. We really hope you guys come take a look at our Telegram group, take a look at everything we have to offer, our website, the white papers. And KP, as KP mentioned, we're always available to answer any questions, and we're always open to suggestions. We want to be there for the community. We're not, just building this for ourselves. We're ambassadors for the chain more so than owners of the chain. So we're always active. Come check us out, and again, thank you for the support.
I'm actually reading up questions, very interesting questions right now. So it says by Orange Crush, he says, what would the team suggest to buy the Maxx token right now or wait for the PRW pre-sale?
We get that asked almost every day.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I mean, the answers are probably both, but yeah, go ahead and answer it if you guys can.
I mean, if you are obviously gunning for that whitelist spot to get in that option to partake in the pre-sale, of course, that would be your first step. So, go ahead and work on that. And, if you decide to dip in on the Maxx tokens, the only thing I can tell you is that, if I had to take a guess, as we get closer to mainnet and as the power coin goes live, and if it does, muster that extreme buy pressure by projects and project owners and developers looking to buy LP, along with investors that did not get in on the pre-sales looking to buy at launch, the Maxx tokens are going to be very attractive to get in on a very, very low market cap, but they may not be that low at that time to get a significant Maxx bag to put it to work to get a good portion of the staking pool for power. So, it is a catch-22. Obviously work on the whitelist spot. If you get it, great. If not, the Maxx token is an attractive price to get a good piece, a good foot in the door.
And one thing I'd like to throw in on that, actually, currently as it stands right now, the Maxx tokens, if you do stake them, the max value of 10 million tokens staked will earn you about 930 power per day. That equates to about $11 worth of power coin based on launch price. So, you guys can do the math and figure that out on your own. Once we do launch, then everything will be drawn based on the volume from the tax accumulation. So we're trying to make it as attractive as possible for individuals who purchase the Maxx token now, and to start earning and actually earning a decent amount of power.
Well, and you could hit two birds with one stone for the next 15 days if you end up being one of the luckiest, biggest buys on the Maxx token on the BSC side or the Ethereum side, because you will obviously get a fantastic bag at a very good market cap with our Maxx tokens, but it also earns you that whitelist spot to get into the pre-sale.
Right, there you have it, Orange. Well, KP, Nayan, appreciate you guys again for being here at USA Crypto Group. Let us know if you guys want us to follow up with anything, all right?
Appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Definitely.
And your ecosystem succeed. You guys seem very ambitious and very, very well focused, actually. Very focused, and I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for the AMA, and Mike is gonna come on and he's gonna do a quick giveaway. And yeah, Mike, Santa Mike is back on. There you go. There's a Santa.
Here comes Santa Mike. Oh man, it gets me every time I laugh on that one. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to shuffle this up in here in just a minute, but we're going to award $20 to one participant, random participant out of the whole 200 that joined in today. I'm also going to sift through all of the questions and award $20 to the best question to the community there. And we're going to follow up with a YouTube giveaway as well. $15. Stay on the lookout for that as well. And like I said earlier, KP and Nayan, I'm going to send you guys, I'll send it both of you, the copy of the AMA today, so that way you have a few records as well.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let's shuffle this up. Grab our first winner. No way, dude. No way. No way.
What is that? What is that? No way. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting for this for 2 years, KP, and Nayan. 2 years, brother. 2 years.
Oh,
finally. Now go ahead and spin it again, Mike. Go ahead and spin it again. I appreciate it though. 2 years.
I'm gonna enjoy this for just a quick second, because you know what? Literally every single AMA over the almost 300 AMAs we've had to date, he has not come up, but is mentioned every time.
Must be a good sign.
Must be a good sign. It's the vibe. It's the vibe, apparently.
Man,
but yeah, no. For a second, I thought the wheel was rigged by Mike. I didn't believe in it. It is. It's legit now. I can see.
Is that what he doesn't know? Is that every single name is Seattle? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get a respin there.
Let's do it again.
It'll be another 2 years, bro. Looks like Jay Dizzle 999. Congratulations, won yourself $20.
Jay Dizzle, I like
Mr. Jay Dizzle. Congratulations. But that's it for the wheel, guys. You know, it was a great AMA, 100%. See you guys on the next one. I'm also going to follow up, like I said, best question, going to get $20 there as well. And look out for the YouTube upload. Another opportunity there. Thank you all for coming in today. It's been absolutely amazing chatting with the team from MaxxChain. A lot going on. Definitely, I'm going to be following in tight with these guys. They got a lot. Very, very well knowledgeable team right here. I'm not going to lie. Very well spoken, very well articulated. The way they come off is just, I just want to keep listening and go for another hour. But we do have another meeting to get to. Thank you all for coming in today. That's it from us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. See ya.
All right. Bye.
We'll see you guys in the next one. That being said, Seattle, you ready, my man?
Let's do it.
Peace.
Let's do it.
Peace. It's bright. All right.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.